Here's how to find your next nonfiction read. This is a challenging but rewarding process. Believe me, I've done it. I've reviewed 350 books on this channel, and as you can imagine, I've come across the good, the bad, and the ugly. But here are 9 tips I've found through experience and some extra research for picking your next best book to read. Many of these I've used, and I will provide examples. Number 1, consider what kind of books you're interested in. Think about what you liked about the books you've been reading recently. Pick your last 5 books and write a list of the 3 things you liked most across all of them. And these could be ideas or topics, but consider what resonated with you that you'd want to see in the next book. Are there books about those topics? It might be worth looking into. Number 2, what are you trying to learn or explore? This could be a certain topic or genre that you're trying to look more into. I remember there was one time that I just wanted to learn more about health and food, so I picked 3 books about health, and I was surprised with what I learned. And these were The Ultramind Solution, Salt, Sugar, Fat. That one was my favorite by a landslide, and The Obesity Code. And then I wanted to learn about leadership, so I checked out Dare to Lead and the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This year I checked out How Women Rise, The Confidence Code, and Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, obviously about women progressing in the workplace. These are topics I considered worth exploring, so I picked a couple books, took the plunge, and gained some fascinating insights about and from each. Number 3, check out some of the recommendations. What I've found is that it's near impossible to browse a site like Amazon, Goodreads, BookTub, Barnes & Noble, or Google Books and check out your favorite genre and not find something new that piques your interest. I use Audible personally, but I don't look at the site often because 1, I spend a bit too much time listening to the books I buy, 2, look at the site because my to be listened to list is like 100 books long, and those 100 books are not going to listen to themselves, and they're not cheap. Number 4, be on the lookout for upcoming releases. This piggybacks the previous one. Many of those platforms have a coming soon section, which will include some heavily anticipated releases right after they're announced. I check Audibles every single morning. I don't miss a morning, and I pre-order what really stands out to me, but I made a separate video about how to stay up to date with the newest releases. I definitely recommend checking it out after this one, but I'll link that below. If you're an author loyalist, if that's an actual thing, and you really love to follow certain authors as their new works come out, this is a great option as well. Number 5, do a little taste testing. 300 books later, I still go out of my way before checking out a book in full to listen to the 5-minute audio sample. Amazon, for example, lets you check out a sample of the book. The industry standard across the platform I've heard is 10%, but ultimately it's apparently up to the publisher/author how long the sample is. It can go as low as 5%. These are just according to multiple sources. Audible's sample is 5 minutes long, and that's really it. I'll listen to a sample like 3 times before deciding for sure that I want to check out the whole book. I don't know what it is about the beginning of the book, but maybe 80% or more of the time, if I like the beginning, I do like the rest. Number 6, check out reviews. This one goes almost completely without saying, but reviews and summaries can help you extensively in deciding whether or not to check out a book. They provide a perspective, argument, and purpose, at least the well-written and elaborate ones, that allow you a critical assessment of the book's overall quality. The problem with a lot of reviews, however, is that they're untrustworthy. And the reason for that I'll explain in another video that I'll drop a link to in the description. I highly recommend watching that video as well, and I am a book reviewer myself. If that doesn't tell you anything about whether or not to trust the video itself, I don't know what does. I seriously don't know what else does. Like, I'm trying to think of something, and short of watching the video, I come up short. Number 7, how much time can you spend on it? If this book you're looking at is way too long or way too short, I wouldn't recommend bothering with it unless it really fits the rest of your criteria, like really, okay? In terms of what the content and themes you like in your most recent reads, it seems an interesting title as a recommendation, the reviews are stellar, and what have you. A very applicable question I learned working in sales that I find helpful in just general decision making in life is, if it had everything else you wanted, would you at least consider it? This gives you an opportunity to identify whether or not something is a deal breaker. But ultimately, how much time you have to dedicate to a book is what dictates this. Number 9, what format is it in? If you don't have a lot of time to read, maybe you'd have time to listen to it as an audiobook. Maybe you do a lot of work during the day, like cleaning or mowing the lawn, or just something that doesn't require a lot of psychological bandwidth. This is an excellent time to listen to books. I used to work in renovations, and I would spend hours digging, laying tile, putting up insulation, just stuff that doesn't require a lot of deep thinking, and I would listen to audiobooks the whole time because it was so much easier to concentrate on them. Personally, I'm not a reader of physical books at all because it's just a lot harder for me, like a lot. But we're in an age of accommodation, right? Where there's truly a format for everyone. And I think whatever degree you're comfortable with listening or hard copy or ebooks, you can make that format work for you, your time, and your needs. Number 9, don't be afraid to trust your gut. Sometimes, if it feels right, it is. Choosing what excites you can result in something spectacular because your gut can often be more profound than your conscious mind. Debatably. Now, if you see all of this and you're still not sure what to do, I would just try all of these one by one. The thing is, you can have one of any holdups. Maybe you have a bunch of books that you're interested in and you're not really sure which will be the very next one. Maybe you don't have any, and you're taking things one book at a time. Or maybe you're caught between one book and another, and you're worried that the whole time you're reading one, you'll be distracted thinking about the other. Just try these one at a time and see where it takes you. You might be surprised. I hope this helps. If you've tried any of these though, how has your experience been? Has it been helpful? And if there's anything I'm missing from this list, please feel free to add to it. If this did help, I do humbly ask that you please make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can see more of the stuff that we're putting out on this channel. And if you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to get a notification whenever I drop new videos, that would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I'll see you then.